Madam Chair and Mr. President, I have the honor to present these graduates for admission to the degree of Master of Counseling, and Dr. Paul Cherry, Dr. Pamela Haraniak, and Dr. Margaret Edwards will join you to receive the graduates. Yvette Bear, Vancouver, BC. Yvette dedicates her graduation to the honor of her grandparents, Peter and Kalina Mikatishin, who impressed upon her the importance of education and who supported her with love and acceptance. She acknowledges her children, Julian, Winter, and Liam, her ex-husband John, and her friend Roseanne for being patient with her throughout her studies. She also thanks her birth mother, Maria Mikatishin, who is here with her today. Yvette Bear. Katrina Beliveau, High River, Alberta. One thing that truly stood out to Katrina about her AU experience was the ability to connect with fellow students during summer institute and seminars. She also appreciated the compliments she received from clients and supervisors at her practicum placement. She thanks her practicum supervisors, Denise and Aaron, as well as all of the supportive professors at AU. She thanks her family and friends, in particular her parents, Wesley and Casper. Katrina Beliveau. Nadina Maya Dodd, Burnaby, BC. This has been a transformational journey for Nadina. She is grateful for the encouragement and support received from family members and for the flexible work schedule offered by her employer. Because of her training in this program, she was able to secure a job as an instructor at the Native Education College in Vancouver, teaching in the Family and Community Counseling program. She also facilitated a year-long art therapy group. Nadina Maya Dodd. Blaine Andrew Findley, Red Deer, Alberta. Blaine is grateful that he was able to integrate his personal interests of spirituality and consciousness studies into his master's program. Now that he has completed the program, he is able to live the dream that he envisioned more than a decade ago of helping individuals, couples, and families in a psychotherapeutic setting. He is grateful to all of those around him who have provided support in many ways, including his family, his partner, and others. Blaine Andrew Findley. Barbara Louise Gladish, Kamloops, BC. This is a huge achievement for Barbara, as completing a master's degree has been an important goal for her. One challenge she faced was arranging a suitable practicum placement. She ended up having two to choose from, and she is currently employed at the same organization where she completed her practicum. She thanks her husband for laying the foundation for her master's degree achievement through his ongoing encouragement and support. Barbara Louise Gladish. Faye Beth Gosnell, Calgary, Alberta. Faye found a sense of community with others of like mind in the program. In fact, members of her practicum class still get together regularly to cheer each other on as they fumble through the obstacle course of licensing requirements for psychologists. Her family was very supportive in her quest for this degree. Jason Nichols supported it financially, and her daughter Brooke supported her having to be absent while she was away for her practicum placement. Faye Beth Gosnell. Lauren Groves, Edmonton, Alberta. Lauren thanks all of her professors for their guidance, and in particular Don Zeman. She acknowledges Momentum Walk-In Counseling in Edmonton for providing an amazing practicum experience. She also thanks her family and friends for their unending support throughout her AU studies. Her credentials have been submitted for review to the College of Alberta Psychologists, and she is looking forward to continuing her registration with them. Lauren Groves. Michael Ha, Calgary, Alberta. One of the things that Michael will remember from his AU experience is meeting classmates face-to-face during the summer months and the practicum. He thanks and acknowledges his family, his friends, and his workplace for being flexible with him throughout his studies. The best thing about having completed his degree is being able to use the knowledge and skills he has learned towards helping the people he serves. Michael Ha. Caitlin Marie Hillier, Woodstock, Ontario. Caitlin's biggest supports, to whom she owes significant thanks and admiration, were her husband Justin, who provided her with the platform and encouragement to pursue her dreams, her mother, Dr. Tracy Hillier, for being a never-ending and unconditional resource of love and support, and Dr. Paula Jerry, the best mentor and encourager she could have ever asked for. Thanks to these three people, she succeeded and excelled in this program. Caitlin Marie Hillier. Whitney Huckstep, Cold Lake, Alberta. Whitney appreciated the feedback she received from her AU instructors, especially the comments in her final course, encouraging her to look into publishing her paper. She thanks her family, including her mom, dad, brother, Daniel, and Grandma and Grandpa Schnell, who for the unbelievable support they provided and for their belief in her abilities. She thanks her friends for their faithful support throughout all the demands and excitement of her studies. Whitney Huckstep. Nicholas Tyler Jackson, Airdrie, Alberta. Nicholas absolutely loved the advanced practicum course, although he thoroughly enjoyed getting practical experience with counseling and working with his very supportive practicum supervisors, Joanne Delaney and Sylvia Streitberger. What he enjoyed most was getting to know his classmates. He also is grateful to his amazing companion Jill for her constant support. She never balked at the time or financial commitments required by his studies. Nicholas Tyler Jackson. Anagratha Kambarami, Rankin Inlet, Nunavut. After completing this degree, Anagratha landed a job as a Director of Health Services for the Kavalik region in Nunavut. She views this degree as a stepping stone into a doctorate in counseling that will further advance her professional aspirations. She acknowledges her dear husband Joe for his financial and emotional support, as well as her AU professors and teaching assistants for their tireless guidance and support. Anagratha Kambarami. Laura Knapp, Calgary, Alberta. Laura chose a statistics course as one of her electives and afterwards wondered why. It was very challenging, but the other students were amazing, and because of their support, she finished the course doing far better than she had expected. Completing this master's degree is something that she'd been wanting to do for some time, and she thanks her parents and her fiancé because without their love and support, she could not have done it. Laura Knapp. Michael John Raymond Lawrence, Edmonton, Alberta. Michael thanks his wife and children. He couldn't have done this without the patience and superheroic support they provided throughout his studies. They deserve awards of their own. He acknowledges his fellow classmates who shared ideas, made him laugh, and taught him so much while on this adventure together. He also thanks his instructors, the other AU staff who guided him and sometimes carried him through his AU experience. Michael John Raymond Lawrence. Jessica Lebovic, Calgary, Alberta. Jessica enjoyed the Summer Institute because it included her first applied practice of counseling, and she got to meet fellow students in person. She also loved the intensive seminars, which were the most intimidating, but also the most rewarding because they were the culmination of knowledge from many of her courses. She is grateful to her parents for their encouragement and for believing in her. And she gives special thanks to Garrett for being there every step of the way. Jessica Lebovic. Emily Amai Look, Calgary, Alberta. Amai will always remember putting faces to names at the Summer Institute and how confirming it was to practice the skills she had only read about up to that point. It was then that she knew she had chosen the right profession. She thanks Kathy Offit-Gartner for her inspiration and her favorite sister Allie for being her proud parent. She also thanks her best friend Alicia for everything they've done together and Chris, her favorite person, for being all-round awesome. Emily Amai Luke. Amy Missner. Amy's favorite AU experience was the Summer Institute. She enjoyed meeting many amazing people and made new friends in the process. The support she received from peers throughout the rest of her AU program was also amazing. The person she thanks most is her mom, who encouraged her, made her believe in her ability to achieve this goal, and was there when she needed to vent or bounce ideas off somebody. Amy Missner. Sorry. Jenny Paytome Haida, Calgary, Alberta. Jenny will always remember how incredibly supportive and encouraging the AU faculty were with her studies. She gives thanks to Pat, Natasha, Simon, and Paul. She also expresses great appreciation for the support she received from family. She thanks her husband and children for their continued confidence in her, that she would be successful, and she thanks her daughter for many cups of tea. Jenny Paytome Haida. Meredith Catherine Arianwe Shaw, Wetaskiwin, Alberta. Meredith gave birth to 2 children during her degree studies. At one point, she was revising her thesis 1 paragraph per day while nursing a newborn. It was a surreal experience that she still can't believe really happened. She acknowledges and thanks her husband Justin for his unwavering support in everything she does and for tending the home fires while she worked hard to achieve her goals. Meredith Catherine Arianwe Shaw. Ruth Stewart, Whistler, BC. Ruth's counseling practicum was a life-changing experience that set her career goals on a whole new track. Both her summer institute and her practicum seminars created the setting for some amazing connections and cemented friendships she will treasure forever. She thanks her husband, who proofread so many of her papers, and her children, who cheered her on every step of the way. She feels particularly indebted to her long-suffering thesis advisor, Dr. Paul Jerry. Ruth Stewart. Andrea Jean-Ann Stobie, Calgary, Alberta. This journey was often challenging for Andrea. She was working full-time as a clinical supervisor, had a baby partway through a semester, and became a single parent during the course of her AU studies. She typed many of her papers and assignments with one hand while nursing and bouncing the baby in her other arm. She thanks her parents, Jack and Trudy Stobie, for encouraging her and for supporting her throughout the process of this degree. Andrea Jean-Ann Stobie. Patricia Iona Shucho, Calgary, Alberta. Completing her thesis has been one of Patricia's greatest achievements, although it was a difficult and solitary process. She acknowledges and thanks her thesis supervisor, Simon Nutkins, for his guidance and support. She learned a lot about both the subject and herself, and is certain it will leave a marked impression on her future work. She also thanks her parents, Dan and Roxanne Shuchu, for their encouragement, and her partner Daniel for his unending patience and support. Patricia Iona Shucho. Kathy May Tremblay, Coquitlam, BC. Within 2 weeks of receiving her final grade on her last academic paper, Kathy was offered a job in Whitehorse, Yukon, 2,500 kilometers away from her home. At the age of 53, this would be the first time ever that she moved away. So after having just finished school, she set off an adventure in a loaded car with a future husband and 2 cats. She thanks her family for their support while she completed her graduate studies, especially her daughters, Sarah and Katie. Kathy May Tremblay. Melanie Lynn Vassal, Okotoks, Alberta. With 3 young children and a full-time job, AU's flexibility factor met Melanie's needs to balance her personal life, work commitments, and study time. The online learning model required quite an adjustment, but she could never have completed this degree without it. She thanks her husband Daniel for taking over the household and child-raising duties, and her bosses for allowing that flexibility and excellent references. Melanie Lynn Vassal. Vanessa Shirley Watson, Spruce Grove, Alberta. Achieving her master's degree is a great achievement for Vanessa, considering the many challenges she encountered along the way. She has made to thank for their support during their studies, including her mother Cindy and father Henry, her stepmother Edwina, her husband Mark Foley, and her children Alyssa and Colton. She also acknowledges her practicum supervisor, Dawn Chalice, and she is thankful for having an excellent employer. Vanessa Shirley Watson. Nicole Christine Whale Kinsley, Raymond, Alberta. Summer Institute was Nicole's most memorable AU experience. She gained confidence in her abilities and made lifelong friends in the process. She acknowledges her family and friends for their support. Her children and husband sacrificed a great deal for her to walk across this stage. Her father, brothers-in-law, and many friends offered support and encouragement, and she thanks her mother, whose life example guided her journey. Nicole Christine Whale Kinsley. Diana Jessie Wiebe, Altona, Manitoba. Diana acknowledges her practicum supervisor who made it possible for her to practice with individuals from a population group that don't readily have the opportunity for counseling and that she is interested in working with. She's thankful for her children who are delighted that she enrolled in this program and are proud of her. She also thanks her friends and colleagues and her instructors and assistants, especially Pat, Ken, Rob, and Jerry. Diana Jessie Wiebe. Michael John Wood, Lanceville, BC. Michael completed the majority of his studies for this degree while working near the Arctic Circle in the Northwest Territories. He balanced that experience with multiple trips to Las Vegas. He thanks the management team at Satu Health and Social Services Authority for being so supportive while he pursued this degree. He also thanks his family and friends for not disowning him each time he chose the studies over a social event. Michael John Wood. Kristen Lee Zeist, Abbotsford, BC. The AU program was the only one Kristen could find with an art therapy specialization. She also appreciated the flexibility of the scheduling, which allowed her to work full-time, having an active role in her family and pursue her studies. She thanks her family and friends for their support of time, patience, understanding, and encouragement. This spring has been an eventful one for her. She graduated, turned 30, and married the man of her dreams. Kristen Lee Zeist. Madam Chair and Mr. President, this concludes the presentation of the Master of Counseling graduates.